Hello, my name is Junia. I'm going to do my article presentation on the Quarterly Journal of Speech, Entanglements of Consumption, Cruelty, Privacy, and Fashion. Basically, the social controversy over fur. Where you have the side of pro fur and anti fur. And basically, I would say my really deep thought theory on this would be that this shows how our world is basically viewed when it comes to social movement and also fashionable statements and contents and stuff that's trying to be shown. Um, we start off by seeing that in the article how um, animals are poisoned or decompressed, or they go through an electrosuction and suffocation. Some of the animals are skinned alive, um, or put on small trucks where basically there's no oxygen for them to breathe. Um, but perhaps the worst one, as stated here, is that the execution method of the anal electrocution. It is used on ranch foxes. Um, a fox is held down by two people who place an electro chip clip on the animal's lip and put a probe in its anus, and then shoot a bolt of electricity through its body. One can only wonder why you have an anti-fur. Um, we also get to see and read that they started with the first VIX section, a steel jaw trap. Um, Basically, it's a steel jaw trap to hold their leg, or it's a body gripping trap. And it's the most commonly used in the U.S. But one of the most disturbing choices, evidence found in the PETA and Friends of Animals visuals, is the death stump in which the hunters they crash the animal's ribcage. Very disturbing. Um, so basically, the anti-fur people, what they try to do is they try to shame the fur making industry. Um, One example is by using a celebrity um, or celebrities, where they perform the illusion of the nakedness appearing in public places like airports, fashions, and shows and malls. When people ask them, "Oh, why did you show yourself to appear naked?" Um, One of the celebrities, the model for the X Fur says, Chrisley Turlington, she thought by doing that, that showing her own skin might have saved some animals. So as there's movements, people try to use celebrities in order to gain more interest into what they're doing. We could relate that now to Sarah Palin, where she has endorsed Donald Trump for president. People are always trying to use some uh, form of game to basically entice people to get on your side. So as you can see, Donald Trump and Sarah Palin tag team each other into getting into that. Um, we notice even in TV shows where, if you ever watch Friends, you remember Phoebe. She's anti everything. She doesn't like you to harm any animals. So even in television shows, they try to incorporate that to send a message to be vegan or whatnot to get people to get on their side. Um, then you have the Jerry Seinfeld clip where he's wearing a fur coat, and at the top left there, you see Kramer and another gentleman just laughing at him and criticizing him because he's wearing the fur coat. Because some of the image back when I was growing up, if you were wearing a fur coat, you were in the in crowd, you were rich, and that's what it kind of symbolized. That was the ideology back then. So as a little girl, if you're looking at that, you're like, oh man, I want to be just like this little girl who wearing the fur coat or whatnot. Um, as an adult, I did purchase one, and if you live in Florida, it's at the back of your closet, so you never really get to wear it. Um, but what I like about that, about the pro-life part, is that I did like the fact that the right to choose. Um, Basically, they're saying if they let the anti fur people continue on, and they wanted to start a fur free week. Well, why don't we start a turkey free Thursday, a meat free Monday, a trot free Tuesday? Basically, kind of calling them out on saying that, okay, if we're going to ban fur, we might as well do a lot of other things that we're using animals for. Um, so they try to tell the people, aren't you tired of animal activists telling you what you can't wear and eat? So that's their way to try to gain the interest back of people. They also were reasserting traditional convention that positions consumption as a protected private matter, and then predicting the slippery slope quality of the threat of anti-forces pose. Pro-fur activates magnifies the importance of successful defending the right to consumer fur. Basically saying, we have the right to choose. If you wanna wear the fur. If you don't want to wear the fur, is what they're saying in the reading, then don't wear the fur. People have the right to choose what they want to do. I know growing up, when I did see people wearing the fur, yeah, I may have thought it was the elite people, but it didn't change me. So people who wore fur, they wore the fur. It didn't make me think less of myself if I did. As we notice here, the general manager of Northwood Fur Farms goes so far as to argue that a drop in trapping causes more animals to be hit by cars, claiming as a proof the unspecified numbers of wildlife killed on rural roads. So basically, if you want to do something for wildlife, buy a fur coat. So pro fur forces also claim that the fur industry is conservative forces because it depends on renewable sources, while instead of the fake furs, they don't use any renewable fossil fuels. So basically, using the real fur and getting off animals is better. Um, a fake a fake fur made from petrochemicals are not biodegradable, while real fur is biodegradable, and a natural fabric whose use production does not pollute the environment or uses fossil fuels. So the back and forth argument between pro fur and anti fur is the pro fur is trying to argue of the saying that they are biodegradable, so it's good to actually use fur than not to use fur. So I just believe that, people should just make their own choices at the end of the day. You want to go pro fur, you want to go anti fur, or you just want to take no sides. Thank you. My name is Junia Vaughn.